All right, we're back. So this part, I don't know if in this part of the video you caught it, but the plus sign changes into multiplication and the subtraction sign changes into division when we're condensing into a single log. So the 2 from paralog gets kicked back, so it becomes a single log, and it's going to be x squared. And then over here, the half gets kicked back, plus sign changes into multiplication, so it's going to be times y, and the half gets kicked back to the exponent, so that's going to be y to the 1/2 power. A better way to write this is just log. There's no base, so leave it like that. And it's going to be x squared y to the 1/2. That's how you'll see it. You may or may not see parentheses around it. Okay. Let's do 32 the same way. So the 3 gets kicked back, the 2 gets kicked back, and I notice I have subtraction, which changes into division. So I'm going to have a single log, no base again, with a division. No, oh, sorry, the base is a. There's a division. This x goes on top because it's first. The exponent of the x is a 3. The z goes on the bottom, and the exponent of the z is a 2. So that's z squared. So this right there is going to be your final answer. All right, over here, so similar. So the 1/3 gets kicked back, the 1/3 gets kicked back, addition changes into multiplication. So it's going to be a single ln, which is natural log. It's going to be x to the 1/3 times y to the 1/3. And I know that since they're both 1/3, I can condense it into ln of xy to the 1/3 power. That's completely correct. Another way to remember this, and this is from another video, is the 3 is the root and the 1 is the exponent. So this is going to be the same thing as ln of xy. And we said the 3 is the root, so that's going to be the cube root. You can put 1 right there. So this is the same thing as ln of the cube root of xy. So this answer, this answer, this answer, they're all valid depending on what he's looking for. All right, so over here, exponent gets kicked back, subtraction changes into division. We have a single ln. I'm going to with the division symbol right here, that's division. So on the top is x to the 1/3. On the bottom is going to be y to the 2/3. And I can go ahead and rewrite this as ln of the cube root of x. And then over here on the bottom, I'm going to have the cube root of y squared. Because again, that's our exponent, that's our root. If he's like, that's not enough, that's the same thing as ln of the cube root of x over y squared. If you're not really sure how to get from one step to the others, please let me know. But all of these answers are equivalent. All right, so over here, it's similar, except there's a little bit more steps. So the 1/3 gets kicked back here, the 3 gets kicked back here, so I'm going to have a subtraction, right? So it's going to be, again, a single log, ln. There's going to be a division symbol. I notice a lot of things are going at the top, so I'm making it bigger. So I have all of this in parentheses at the top. So it's going to be 2ln, right, of x. So I know that the 2 gets kicked back, so that's going to be x squared. This is going to be plus changes into multiplication. The 4 gets kicked back, so it's going to be y to the 4th. And all of it is going to be raised to the 1/3 power. 1/3. All right, that wasn't too bad. And then over here we have a subtraction, which again changes into division. And the only thing we have on the bottom is a z to the 3rd. All right, so I can rewrite this. So 1/3 is the same thing as cube root. I'm going to put ln. So on the top, I'm going to have the cube root of x squared y to the 4th. And on the bottom, I have z to the 3rd. So this answer and this answer, again, are equivalent. All right, so the last one for this page is similar again. So the half gets kicked back, the 2 gets kicked back. So I'm going to have, and I have a subtraction which changes into division. I have a log with a base of a, and I'm going to have a division symbol or division problem because of that subtraction sign. So this half is going to get kicked back here. So I'm going to have on the top, I'm going to have x minus 1, and the half is going to be the exponent of that. And over here on the denominator, I'm going to have x plus 1. I'm going to have x plus 1, and the 2 is going to be that exponent. And that's a log base a. If they're like, okay, you can't have a rational exponent, so it's still going to be log base a. The 2 is on the bottom, so that's going to be square root of x minus 1 all to the first power, so you could put the little 1 there if you don't have to, and on the bottom it's going to be x plus 1 squared. So this answer and this answer are exactly the same, depending on what he's looking for. All right, so for this one, we did problems similar to this before. I told you that you can go ahead and put this under y1, put this under y2, and see where they intersect. But again, I'm going to go ahead and do this algebraically just so you can make sure. So anytime we have an exponent in the numerator, I'm sorry, in the exponent, we want to log both sides. So it's going to be log of 5 to the x is equal to log of 18. When we have the exponent at the top, it gets kicked to the front. So it's going to be the same thing as x times the log of 5 is equal to log of 18. To get this x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by log of 5. Divide by log of 5. This cancels out. So x is equal to whatever this is. So for that, I need my calculator to be turned on. I'm going to log 18. So I'm going to put my little alpha y equals option number 1. Log 18, I don't have a base, so I'm just going to use this log just because it's one less step. 18 close parentheses, and on the bottom I have log of 5, so I'm still going to do log of 5 close parentheses. I'm going to hit enter, so this is my answer. So it's going to be 1.79, which is about 1.8. About. If he gives you this question, he's going to tell you what to round to. I think that I should show you how to use this with the calculator as well, just to make sure that you're right and check your work. So here it's going to be 5 to the x. This one right here, I'm going to have 18. So I noticed that my y is going to be 18 here, so I'm going to change my window and make sure that my y is bigger. The largest y is going to be bigger than 18, so I'm just going to make it 25 just so you can see what's happening. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit graph. So that's the first one, y equals 5 to the x, and y equals 18 is right there. And I noticed that right here is where it intersects. I showed you how to do that just in case. Second calc, option number 5, intersection, enter, enter, enter. And it gives you the same answer, about 1.8. All right. So here, I'll do this one next. All right. So I'm going to log both sides. Log base 2 to the x minus 1 is equal to log of 7. So again, the goal is to get the x by itself. So in order to get it to be kicked to the front, right, I had to log both sides. So now this whole thing gets kicked to the front. So it's going to be x minus 1 times log of 2 is equal to log of 7. So now you want to get this x by itself, divide both sides by log of 2. Divide by log of 2. So that cancels out. So to get the x by itself, so I have x minus 1 is equal to log of 7 divided by log of 2. Parentheses, parentheses, add 1 to both sides, plus 1, plus 1. That allows this to cancel out. So x is equal to all of that. So how you plug this into the calculator just to make sure. I don't want to assume that you know how to do the calculator part. So I'm going to hit log of 7, close parentheses, divided by, oh, see, I did that bad. I don't want to do it like that. I want to do alpha y equals option number 1. Always use that alpha y equals. It'll save you like problems figuring out like when to close a parentheses and everything else like that. So I have log of 7, close parentheses, and on the bottom I'm going to put log of 2, close parentheses, and then look, I'm going to add 1 to it, right, to the whole thing. So I'm going to go to the right and put +1, and then hit enter, and that's going to be my answer. So it's about 3.8. 3.8, about. All right, a couple more problems. So we have, let's just change it to purple. So same thing over here. I'm going to log both sides, 3 to the 2x. And again, the reason why is because I have an x in the exponent is equal to log of 46. So that allows me right here to take that 2x and kick it to the front. So I have 2x times log of 3 is equal to log of 46. I want to divide both sides by log of 3 and by a 2, right? Because I want those 2's to cancel out and the log 3's to cancel out. So I want to divide both sides by 2 and a log of 3. So now I have x is equal to this whole mess right here. So I'm going to take that whole mess and plug it into the calculator. There's a reason why I did it like that. And again, I'm going to go alpha y equals, it'll just save me a little bit of time. So log of 46, close that parentheses. On the bottom, I'm going to have 2. I can put the little times if I want, and then I'm going to do log of 3. Close parentheses, hit enter, and so my answer is about 1.7. And again, I showed you how to use your calculator to check to see if this is right. Same thing here, log 5 to the 2x minus 5 is equal to log of 564. If you're using the calculator for this to check it, you're going to have to change your y up to like 570. But anyway, let's just do it without that. So that allows this to get kicked to the front. So I have 2x minus 5 times log of 5 is equal to log of 564. I want to get this x by itself by dividing both sides by log of 5. That'll allow us to cancel that out. Divide by log of 5. I don't want to do too much here. So I'm going to have 2x minus 5 is equal to this whole thing right here. Log of 564 divided by log of 5. I want to add 5 to both sides. Plus 5. That allowed us to cancel that out. So I get 2x is equal to this whole thing. Log of 564 divided by log of 5 plus 5. And then I want to divide both sides by 2. So now watch why I did it like that, right? So why didn't I pull out the calculator a while ago? So I told you I'd rather show you stuff just on the calculator. So first thing I want to do, hit alpha y equals, and I want to put this top part in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do alpha y equals again. And again, like I said, I want to put that top part in. So I'm going to have log of 564, close parentheses, right? Divided by log of 5. So log of 5, close parentheses. And then I'm going to take that whole thing and add 5 to it. So I do plus 5. On the bottom, I'm going to divide this whole thing by 2. And I get about 4.5. So answer here, x is about 4.5. And again, depending on how he wants you to round it, round it. All right. Here, I have a problem where I'm going to have to like condense it. So I have log of addition changes into multiplication. So I'm going to have x times 2, which is 2x, is equal to 3. I told you this some time ago. If there's no base, there's an imaginary 10. All right, so it's log base 10 of 2x is equal to 3. So I want to find out what this x is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do circle of log. Okay, so 10 to the third power equals 2x. So now I want to find the x and get that by itself. So I want to divide both sides by 2. So now I just literally take it, plug it into the calculator, and I get my answer. So I'm going to get alpha y equals, enter. I love that alpha y equals thing. So 10 to the third power, and then on the bottom I'm dividing it by 2. and I'm going to get 500 as my answer. So I'm going to get 500 is equal to x, and I could take that and plug it in just to make sure that it's right. So let's just do that. So log of 500, close parentheses, plus log of 2, close parentheses, and if I'm right, I should get 3, which I do. Okay. This one's very similar. I have subtraction changing into division, so I'm going to have log of x divided by 3. That's you calling, I'm not going to pick up. If there's no denominator right here, I'm going to put the 2. So it's 2 to the second power is equal to all of that. So 2 squared is equal to x divided by 3. To get the x by itself, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. And again, this is something that I can plug into the calculator. So it's going to be 3 times 10 squared, and I'm going to hit enter, and I get x is equal to 300.